"You're not family anymore," my aunt said after I couldn't afford her $600 wedding gift. 2 years later, she called crying because her son wanted a job at my company. My Aunt Carol always said that blood was just blood, but family was a choice. It was one of her favorite little aphorisms, usually delivered with a pointed look in my direction over a holiday dinner table. For years, I thought she meant it as a compliment, a way of saying that even though she'd only married into the family, she had chosen us. I didn't understand until her wedding day that it was never a promise. It was a threat. She wasn't choosing to let us in. She was deciding who to cut out. And on that crisp October afternoon, surrounded by blush pink roses and the cloying scent of buttercream, she chose me. The crime that got me excommunicated wasn't some grand betrayal. It was 60 square inches of watercolor paper, a painting of the lake where my Uncle Ben had proposed to her, framed in simple, reclaimed barnwood. It was my gift. It was heartfelt. It was personal. And it was, most damningly, not the $600 crystal ice bucket listed on her registry. The confrontation didn't happen in a quiet corner. Carol was never one for subtlety. She waited until the champagne toast was over and the band had started their first set, a saccharine cover of a song I knew for a fact my uncle despised. She found me near the bar, trying to summon the courage to switch my club soda for something that would burn a little more. I was 6 months sober, a fragile, rickety milestone that felt more like a tightrope walk than solid ground. She glided toward me, a vision in ivory silk, her smile as sharp and brilliant as the diamonds on her hand. Her eyes, however, were cold stones. She didn't even glance at the bartender as she held up a hand to stop him from taking my order. "Maya, darling," she began, her voice a low purr that still managed to cut through the music. "I just finished opening the table gifts. So many lovely things." She paused, letting the silence stretch. I knew what was coming. I could feel the familiar shame coiling in my stomach, the same shame that had been my constant companion for years. "I saw your contribution, the little painting." She said the word painting like it was something scraped off the bottom of a shoe. "It's very quaint." I tried to smile to pretend I didn't feel the 100 tiny cuts her tone inflicted. "I'm glad you liked it. I thought it would be meaningful." "Meaningful," she repeated, tasting the word. "That's one word for it. Another might be cheap." The smile finally dropped from her face, replaced by a look of profound theatrical disappointment. "You know, when Ben and I put together our registry, we did it to make things easy for our guests, to ensure we received items of a certain quality, a standard. That ice bucket, for instance. It wasn't just an ice bucket, Maya. It was a symbol of the life we are building, a life of quality." My throat felt tight. The room was spinning slightly, the laughter and music blurring into a dull roar. "Carol, I'm sorry. Things have been tight. I thought something personal. Things have been tight for you for a decade, haven't they?" she snapped, her voice no longer a purr but a hiss. People were starting to look. I could feel their eyes on us. Always some drama, some excuse. First the rehabs, then the debt. Now you show up to my wedding, the most important day of my life, with a piece of arts and crafts you probably whipped up in an afternoon, and you expect me to be grateful? She laughed, a short, ugly sound. "Your uncle has been so patient with you. We've all been so patient. But this is a slap in the face. It shows a complete lack of respect, not just for me, but for this family." She leaned in closer, her perfume suffocating me. "I told Ben that family is a choice. It's about who shows up, who supports you, who respects the standards you set for your life. You have made it very clear today that you don't meet that standard. You are not a part of the family we are building." She straightened up, smoothing down the front of her perfect dress. "As far as I'm concerned, you're not family anymore. Enjoy the party. It's the last one you'll be invited to." And with that, she turned and walked away, melting back into the crowd of adoring guests, leaving me standing alone at the bar, feeling smaller and more broken than I had in a very long time. The humiliation was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I wanted to run. I wanted to drink. I wanted to scream.
Full story on channel link below.